Welcome to Donna and Friends. This week we're going to pick back up with Bill Ahrberg as he tells his story of his 3 silver stars. Let's take a look.
The 3rd Silver Star, I earned it on Hill 355. And this was on the west front. And Hill 355 had been lost by the British. The Chinks knocked them out. And they moved our outfit over and got us in a position there to assault the company, the objective. This 355 was very sharp. And I've got the map that we used when we were out on missions. We had these maps, and this mountain was just very steep and straight rocks, just straight rocks. And the Chinks had them. Well, it came time for us to take it, and I told men, I said, you know, the Chinks are up here in that ridge line, and we're coming up, and really they don't have a good field of fire on us because we're right against the rocks coming up, and they're over a little bit. And I said, I don't think we're in much danger till we get right to the top. And so we did that. We got up there, and the Chinks had pulled off 355. And we got up there, and no Chinks. And so anyway, what happened, the Chinks on a deal like this, they did not like our automatic fire, and they tried to hit these objectives in the dark and just run over us. So we were the only way we could make it. They had a lot more men than we did. Was to keep flares and keep some light, and so we'd have a chance there to work on the enemy. But we need to keep those flares going all the time. And you know, a flare just lasts 3 or 4 seconds and it burns out. And it takes lots of flares. But in this case, artillery had enough flares there to keep it lit up. After we started about 8 or 9 o'clock, it was dark, cold, it's September. The enemy started, and they had their signals, you know, flares, red and green, and everybody was trying to read what that was going to come with. And they started the assault. And our company commander at that time hadn't been with us very long. He'd been with us maybe less than a month. And I don't even remember his name because he wasn't with us any time. He's gone. He was going up this mountain, and he lost his footing and rolled about halfway down the mountain and broke some ribs and was gone. That was the end of him. And so I was a first lieutenant, and the other guys were too. And they'd been in the Army a lot longer than I had, but they told me to take charge of the company, become a company. And you couldn't dig in on this mountain because it was rock. You couldn't do that, you know. And the Army, I mean, they started hitting us with mortars and artillery and grenades, and lots of them. And we could see enough light that there was lots of enemies, and they were coming. Well, I had come down, I was 75 feet from my old to platoon down to company. But this was a rock deal, and the company wasn't anything. You're just on top of rocks, you know, in an area there. And the enemy hit us, and one of my corporals that had been in the 2nd platoon, he came running down the slope, and he came in to see me and said, "Lieutenant, I need to talk to you." I said, "Okay, what's the matter?" And he said, "The men are going to fold." I said, "What?" They said, they don't want to stay up there. It was kind of like a nipple, a woman's nipple, and it had a nipple sticking up. And my 2nd platoon was on it, and I was down a little ways, not very far, 75 feet or something. But I said, "Let's go." His name was Farmer. He was a corporal. I got my carbine and I said, "Let's go. We're not going to bug out up there on that. We can't let them get the high ground." I went up there, and the guys decided to stay. And we did. And anyway, we had a fight, and finally the Chinks had enough of it, probably at 11 o'clock at night, and the battle was over, and we had it. And we had quite a few men came right in with us, lots of them. And when we got morning and some daylight, you would not believe the number of Chink bodies that were laying out there. I couldn't believe it. I have seen one picture of it, of 355, and all those dead Chinks. But anyway, we held her together, and we did have quite a few casualties. And battalion commander was off maybe a mile in the valley there, and he said, "We're sending up some new troops, and we're going to take you back and get you some more soldiers, take you back to the rear a little ways, 3 or 4 miles on trucks." And that's when the new unit came up, and we came down. And as we got to the bottom on the ground there, this battalion commander said, "Ahrberg," he said, "the Red Cross needs to talk to you." And I said, "Well, not now." I said, "We get these trucks in, get the troops in these deucing halves and go back out of the area here and get things going." He said, this Red Cross guy needs to talk to you now." I said, okay. He said, in a few words, my dad was dead. He had died. I said, not my dad. He wouldn't die. They said, yeah, he was in Chicago at a livestock show, and he did die. And I knew then, that he did. It tore me up.
And we'll be back right after this.